day 7 of Watercolor Jumpstart. I think that means we've gone a whole week. So today's project is going to be a lot like yesterday's project. We're going to put down some areas of light color. We're going to drop some color in on top. But the whole point of this isn't about the space that we're painting, but the spaces we leave unpainted. Ooh. Oh, that sounds so philosophical. All right, so we're going to talk about negative space. So what is that? Negative space is going to be like if you put your hand on your hip and then you were to trace the space between your body and your arm, that like triangle space, that's the negative space. So in what we're doing today, the negative space is going to be the space between our little squigglies. So you can see here, I'm going pretty close to the edge of that first squiggle, but I'm leaving a gap between them, preserving that space. So the unpainted white of the paper is our negative space. And in this design, it's actually going to be a major kind of element of the whole composition. So you do have to paint carefully. You don't just want to go slopping your paint around because we want to leave the unpainted white of the paper as, as pristine and as clean as possible. So this kind of idea was inspired by Snake, that game that you could play on cell phones when they first came out. And you know how the snake would kind of coil in around itself, but you didn't ever want it to touch because then you'd lose the game. So we've got this like weird version of that. And we'll see that even something that is as simple as making squiggles can end up looking really interesting. So I'm just kind of intuitively making the squiggles and dropping in colors as I kind of see fit. Just letting them kind of blend in on each other. And notice how I'm not being super fussy. I'm just making my marks and then I'm moving right along, creating this kind of rainbowy, squiggly kind of thing. So I really like this because it's a really easy way to make something that I feel looks quite interesting. This is my favorite one that we've done so far, and like I want to do this again with other colors. So just there's something about it that was so fun to make. It felt very zen because you do have to take some care and get your lines just right and have the flow so that way you don't have sloppy edges, but then you also want to be able to, you're like free form with the color and all of that. So it's a really great combination of kind of earthiness and randomness mixed in with something that feels kind of clean and calculated. So I feel like this one was particularly successful. So I feel like I sound like a broken record, mostly because I'm filming all these voiceovers kind of all in one go. But I think part of the reason why this works is having the colors be kind of unequally used. So if you'll notice, there really isn't any vivid pink in here, but we have our dark Payne's gray and we have really bright blue. And then using the quinacridone burnt orange, which is a little bit of a duller color in there, it kind of has a balance that feels more mature. Like it's the thing that I feel like separates work that looks really amateurish from everybody else's that's like looking real cool, is having a really wise use of color intensity. Not everything has to be the brightest right out of the gate. I know it's really cool to use bright colors, but I think they should be used wisely and sparingly, keeping it in balance with pale colors and with dark neutral colors. It's just all about having a balance in our tones that make our paintings look like, I don't know, someone who knows what they're doing is actually making it. It's something that I feel like maybe I've struggled with color scheme and like how to pick good ones. And for a while in my work, everything was kind of neutral, or I would just pick one color, which I still think is a pretty good strategy for dealing with color is, just have one bright one. But when you start looking at really nice color palettes, like at home decor stores and things like that, you'll notice that there is always a balance between the really bright stuff and the kind of more muted stuff. And it just looks nice. So I hope you enjoyed this exercise, and because it's my favorite, I really want to see the stuff you made. So use the hashtag #JumpStartWithJenny, and I want to see it, and comment below if you have any thoughts on negative space, and I'll see you tomorrow in my next